Okay, we are just waiting for a passengers to get on. This is a slightly unusual journey we're going to be taking for this part because, yeah, normally any trains going from Glasgow Queen Street to Helensburgh Upper would be doing so, making several stops along the way. We will not be doing that though. So, yeah, Helensburgh Upper, 25.29 miles away, so quite a short route. And we are not stopping along the way either. Now, while we are getting underway, I will add, I have had some questions, but I'm not going to be answering them in this video because this is not only a fairly short video, but it's also the first time I've ever driven on this section of this particular route DLC. So I'd like to yeah, keep my concentration there. So those questions will be answered in the next part, the penultimate part. It also gives us a bit of time to get some more questions sent because I think there's only like 3 or 4, so yeah, get a few more. Right, while we are here, let's get our radio test done.
Welcome to the remote radio test unit. Please leave your message after the tone.
This is the NRN radio test call.
This is the NRN radio test call.
So, test done. So we're on a 1 in 46 uphill climb here. No wonder we are, yeah, rather struggling to accelerate. And you'll notice that the line is not electrified. In order to get to Helensburgh Upper, we're using a completely different line, and that's why I yeah, wanted to focus on what was happening on this route, because yeah, completely different section of this route DLC. So yeah, there's a lot of firsts. Can't help noticing that yes, we have a 15 mph section coming up. So even though we are entering the 60 mph section here, it's not going to be long before, in fact I really probably should start braking now. So Ashfield is the first station that we will be going through. I'm not quite sure why we are going so slowly, or will be going so slowly through this section. Then again, I'm not from the area, so it could well be, when we get there, the reason for it will become abundantly clear. Anyway, yeah, we are now clearly turning down this part here. This does indeed look like quite the sharp curve. Certainly does explain why we are taking it so slowly. We are starting to lose a bit of speed here. Whoa! Oh, that was close. Yeah, we're now going downhill, 1 in 80, so do need to apply a little braking. It's actually keeping us at a regular speed, which I'm quite happy with. So here is here is Ashfield Station. Very small station, completely surrounded by a lot of trees. I mean, graphically it looks great. Not really sure that the station is going to be used all that often. Anyway, we are now in a 60 zone. Let's get some speed up. So Postle Park and Park House is the next station. Definitely not familiar with that one. Now this 1 in 80 downhill section we're still on, so we are unsurprisingly accelerating at quite a rate. So yeah, Postle Park and Park House right here. And yeah, look at all these stations that are coming up. So downhill gradient still, it's now 1 in 102, so it's not as steep, but it's still steep enough for us to be picking up some more speed. And it's now 1 in 98 uphill, so yeah, apply some throttle. Let's get us up to closer to 60. So here is, geez, how do we pronounce this? Yeah, okay. Anyone, any Scot out there who can help me out with the pronunciation of that, feel free to do so. Somerston is next, that one's fairly easy. And Mary Hill afterwards is also easy. So we have a 158 in the station here. So yeah, that's Mary Hill. No, it wasn't. That was the station before Mary Hill. Mary Hill is coming up here. Yeah. It certainly is a great looking route. So we are going to be slowing down to 40. We still have a mile to go though before then, so let's keep going for now. Keep coasting, obviously, we're not going to accelerate. Clearly we can accelerate once we're in the 55 zone, where we will be right by Westerton Station. There we go, we're fine now for that speed. Oh, that was close. Thought I'd overdone that. So now we are, oh no, I have overdone it, 1 in 137 downhill. Now we are briefly on, well, I think it's briefly on an electrified section. So we're into a 50 zone now, that's, or 55 even. Let's get a bit of speed up as we approach Westerton station. There we are. Now I forgot to mention it in the last video, but in the video before that, when we arrived at Edinburgh, right at the very end I did sort of exclaim, "Did you hear that announcement?" Because I am pretty sure it was just coincidence, but what a massive coincidence. It was, I think, announcing our train arriving. And I think the livery of the train sort of did influence what the you know, what announcement the route sort of chose to play. So it said, yeah, this is a cross-country service. Its next stop will be Glasgow, which ours was. But the thing that really blew me away was when it said that yeah, the service originated in Penzance, which it did. But, I mean, of all the places to say that that service originated from, as yeah, that was Drumchapel Station, only had a platform on one side. So yeah, that absolutely blew me away, that. So I'm well aware of the fact that it was just coincidence, but it just seemed like, you know, so much of a coincidence. So Drumry is our next station. Yeah, so this one, yeah, is your standard 2 platforms, 1 each side thing. I'll also add that I have had some more requests, and I always said that, you know, yeah, feel free to send requests while I am doing this, and my intention was to do those alongside doing this, but I've only got, you know, 2 more sort of like legs to do after this one. So I figured, right, yeah, I will finish the Behemoth Run before I do any more requests. Doesn't mean don't send any more in. You know, you've seen on numerous occasions how quickly I will go through the requests that I've got. So yeah, keep sending them in, you know, if you want to see them. So that was Singer Station, Dalmuir Station coming up in a fairly short while. I've already slowed down for the 45 mph section, which yeah, we have just entered. So after Dalmuir we have Kilpatrick Station. Certainly sounds very Irish, that one. Now I'm sure that Dalmuir and Kilpatrick stations are also on the other route that you can do in this particular DLC. If you're going to, you know, Helensburgh Central rather than Helensburgh Upper that we are heading to here. So, yep, Dalmuir. Looks like a 320 over there. And we have a 320 right here as well. We're now in a 60 zone, so let's get some more speed up. So yeah, we're now on a 1 in 89 uphill stretch. I'm amazed we are picking up speed in notch 1. Okay, it's quite slow, but we are picking up speed. I would have thought we'd be losing it. So here we are at Kilpatrick Station. Again, has some actual station buildings here, so all looks pretty good. There's the big old, presumably Kilpatrick Bridge in the background there. Ah, it's old bowling station next. Or is it? I'm sure it's actually pronounced bowling. So 1 in 137 downhill, so we are picking up speed. This looks like another 320 approaching us. Here it is. So it's now 1 in 91 downhill. Also need to shave off a few mph. So we have a 55 mph section coming up. Here we are on the shores of whatever loch this is. I have no idea. I can't imagine it is Loch Bowling, but it was Bowling Station. I'm fairly certain the next station is not that far along the line. Now I remember when I did the first video on this route, when I did the Helensburgh Central to Airdrie route, I got a comment from Gansty saying that he had used this route fairly often, going from Queen Street to Clydebank. I'd be interested to hear if you ever used the particular branch that we will, well, that we have used so far on here. I know this part we have because this part was in the previous video, but yeah, the part we were on at the very start of this particular part of the run, and I dare say the part we'll be on towards the end of it, because obviously we are going to be coming off the main yeah, the main part of this line in order to get to Helensburgh Upper. So I got us up to 60, but yeah, we've got a 40 MP8 section coming up. And then we have Dumbarton East, which of course is swiftly followed by Dumbarton Central, and even more swiftly followed by, I can't remember the name of the third station. It's the one that's on the other side of the river. There we are, Dalriach, or however you pronounce it. So yeah, I was saying it in the last time we were here, is this particular DLC, it makes Dumbarton look like a wonderfully scenic location. I don't know if it's an accurate portrayal of it, but yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic here. So into the 40 zone, and here is Dumbarton East Station. Not really much point accelerating when we enter that 60 zone, because then we've got to slow to 30, and that's what that AWS alert was for. Yeah, we have to slow to 30 by the time we are the other side of Dumbarton Central. I can't imagine there are many, if any, trains on this particular line that would not stop at Dumbarton Central. We have another 320. A relatively long one. So here is Dumbarton Central. So again, looks fantastic. It really does look like a properly nice scenic town. Stick with the exterior view as we go over the river. Here it comes. I still don't know what the river is called. Here is Dalriach station. Now, where is it sending us? Okay, still sending us on the same route that we were put on before, I think. So we're entering a 60 zone just as we enter the tunnel. Once we're in there, we can then start accelerating. There you go. Let's take it all the way up to notch 4 and get yeah, get us up to 60 mph. So we do have speed reduction down to 45 coming up, very, very short. I can only assume it's either points or going over a weak bridge. In this sort of area, it could well be either of them. So again, braked far too early. We're still 2/3 of a mile away from the 45 mph zone, but yeah, we've got to speed down to 45 anyway. So yep, some absolute shit cunt outside, playing fucking music out loud through his mobile phone, because yeah, it's the South End. If you've got the chance to be an absolute wanker, you'd do it, apparently. So into the 45 mph zone. Cardross station coming up. Couldn't see anywhere there why that section was 45 mph. But anyway, we're now back in the 60. That was Cardross station. Well, at the moment it looks like then the only reason that you have to take a diesel train to get to Helensburgh Upper is because of that section at the start, not the section at the end, which is what I assumed it would be. But Yeah, that really surprised me. I would have thought all the lines coming out of Queen Street would be electrified to pass another 320. So we do have another speed reduction down to 40 coming up. It certainly looks like, yeah, we have the West Highlands very much ahead. So, right, we've got the junction, yeah, junction marker lit. We are into the 40 zone. Okay, so the junction marker is just where we are, basically the two lines merging into one. Only for a very short section though. Now that red aspect, okay, that's the other side. Right, so yeah, this is where we have tailed off from the main line, and yeah, we're now on another section that is not electrified. And we are on a 1 in 110 uphill climb. And we are effectively entering the West Highlands. We're not quite there, but it's now 1 in 60 uphill climb. And yeah, we are very much on a line that certainly doesn't see too many class 220s on it. So it's now 1 in 58. I did the radio test as we left. Yeah, I just saw the marker there that said we've now switched to a new area. The thing is, apart from doing that test, I can't do anything else in the simulator with this particular train as far as its the radio is concerned. I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue when it comes to doing the final stretch, because certainly there, if not the entire West Highland line, works on the tokens system. But you can see there on the on the route display, a token marker just outside Helensburgh Upper. So the token system is it's a fairly primitive, rather simple sort of method of ensuring that there's never more than one train on each section, but it works, there's no doubt about it. It is one of those systems that, because it works and works really well, you do find yourself sort of asking, why don't we use it more often? Why have we got to make things unnecessarily complicated? So here we are. The fantastically scenic Helensburgh Upper Station, and this is our entrance to the West Highland line. So let passengers off. Here we are. This is in Helensburgh Upper Station.